Jim again, and I'm in the high-vis gear again. I'm doing this one again from the kitchen in my factory at my manufacturing business, and you probably hear in the background, I'll talk up a bit, my CNC routing machine screaming away in the background, cutting some components for the stuff that we make. Okay, today we're going to do one that's really polarising. Anchovies. You either love them or you hate them. Now I'm in the love them camp. Love them on a pizza. My pizzas, since going to a plant-based diet, my pizzas haven't been the same without my anchovies. And I'll actually just get them, roll them up in a lettuce leaf and eat them one after the other. I love the bloody things. Some people hate them, but for those who love them like I do, let's have a crack at making some. Okay, anchovies. Ask anybody, what do they taste like? And they'll say two words, salty and fishy. Really salty, really fishy. What else is really salty and really fishy? My old mate, vegan fish sauce. And this one, I've showed it to you before when we made up the scallops. This one's an absolute beauty if you can get it. It's from Vietnam. Vietnam makes the best genuine fish sauce, so it's no surprise they actually make the best vegan fish sauce. All right, now this is a bit of a punt. I've never actually done it before, so we'll see how it goes. Just 3 ingredients: fish sauce, oil for later on, and some tofu. Only making a very small batch just to see how this works. Now I'm going to cut the tofu into about 6mm wide pieces, 1/4 inch for the people who still use imperial. Last one's a bit thicker, but we'll see how that goes. It might work better than the thinner pieces. So we just chop that up. Now with tofu, got to get the water out of it because we're going to marinate this later. So you press it between paper, and at work I didn't have any kitchen paper, so yep, dunny roll. Good clean dunny roll though, nothing wrong with that. It's all paper after all. We'll fold that over a few times, slide this back a bit. So we'll give it one more go. Need a fair bit of thickness here. Let's chuck the tofu on. Doesn't have to look too pretty. All we're trying to do is dry it out here. These thinner bits are very fragile, so I'm not sure that was a great idea, but I've cut a few in different shapes and sizes to see how it works. Now, some more paper over the top. Get a good roll of this stuff. Fold it up. About right. Now, we're just going to put a bit of weight on top of that to press it. Doesn't need a lot of weight. I'll just go with a dinner plate. I'll whack the fish sauce and oil on top of that to give it a bit of a squish. We'll give that about 10 minutes and we'll come back to it. Okay, they've had about 10 minutes to dry. Yep, they're nice and dry. All the moisture, you see all the moisture that's soaked out into the paper. That stuff really does hold some water. Now, as I'm at work, I've got to improvise a bit here. Haven't got any normal dishes that I'd use. So on with a bit of fish sauce on this little plate. I'm going to put bits of tofu on. Be really gentle with this stuff. As I said, it's pretty fragile. The thinner bits being more fragile than the thicker bits. No surprise that really. That's a nice thick bit and that was easy to handle. We'll see how they come out in the end. That one's already starting to fall apart. We may end up with anchovy crumbles. We'll see what happens at the end. Okay, just gently putting those all on. Okay, that's fine. Alright, just had to pause there briefly. One of the guys who works for me needed to see me. So we put them all on. A bit more fish sauce all over the top. We want these to be really fishy and saucy. You can see that's already starting to soak in. You can see as it moves in there. Let a bit of a swish around. Now I'm going to let that sit for about an hour to really absorb and get that fishy, salty, lovely anchovy flavour into the tofu. Okay, so they've had about an hour. And the only thing I could find here was an old steak sizzle dish Looks clean. It looks a bit grubby, but it's certainly, I assure you, it's nice and clean. Hit that with a bit of cooking spray. I'm going to tip the excess fish sauce off. Now he's going to slide those on. I'm going to pop those into an oven. You see one of them's broken apart already. Spread those out a bit. I'm going to pop those into an oven on about 90 Celsius, which is about 190 Fahrenheit, to sort of just dry them out, basically. Concentrate the flavour and get them ready to go in some oil. So we'll pop those in the oven and I'll come back and let you know how long they took. Okay, these had 50 minutes at 90 degrees Celsius and they've gone quite dry. They're not as brittle as I thought they would be. I'm going to taste one. Yeah, they're quite salty. Bit of an anchovy flavour. Those anchovies generally come in a can or a bottle in oil. I'm going to take these, tip some oil over them, let them sit in oil, pick up the oily flavour and sort of rehydrate them and make them soft. Let's get that bloody tray out of the way. Just going to use any old vegetable oil I had on hand. We'll see what happens. I'll give them a soak for about an hour, see what that does to them. Then we'll come back and give them the final taste test. Okay, they've been in the oil for about an hour and that's really changed them. They will soften up a bit more as time goes by, but I just bit into one. The oil soaks into it and the flavour really came out. They're very salty, as anchovies are. Not quite the same flavour as a real anchovy, but it's there, just not as strong. The saltiness is certainly there, but the deep fishy flavour is not as much there as an anchovy. But I've got to tell you, as a replacement for anchovies, they work well. They're going to work well on a pizza. Yeah, I'm going to mark that one down as a success. It's going to be a regular on my menu.